Good morning, beautiful beings. Thank you for joining us for our Earth Day service today, and thank you in advance for allowing us to dig into an earthy garden metaphor throughout today's worship. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I'm Melissa Baker, serving as worship lead at 1U. With me in today's service are our worship leaders from the Green Team, Karina Vaudry and Mary DuBois, board member and Green Team co-chair Debbie Reinhardt, official artist in residence Leisha Mathias. I lost you, there you are. Music director Aubrey Connolly Candelario, Barbara Howe on vocals and guitar with drummer Jacob Hike, plus our chalice lighter Ruby with her parents Sammy and Dan Rao. And what is his name? Monkey? Gollum? Yes. Oh, and Gollum, lighting the chalice today. And let's not forget the many hands working out of sight to prepare the ground and tend the beds so we could gather in this beautiful space today. To those who do the quiet work of weeding, watering, and nourishing our community, thank you for helping us grow. We greet you this morning, old friends and new, as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to the community. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday in our midst, you are welcome here. Whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcome. In this community, your whole self is welcome. We welcome your race, national origin, immigration status, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, green thumb or brown thumb, or economic status and religious background. We welcome you. We have a few special announcements for you today. Following today's service, the garden and green teams invite everyone to gather in the 1U garden for coffee, plant-based snacks, and social time together. As an Earth Day bonus, stroll among the electric vehicles parked next to the garden and talk with our 1U owners. Today, while we are moving into the garden for fellowship time, the RE team will be bringing the kids into the sanctuary to have some practice time with the microphones in preparation for next week's Lifespan Religious Enrichment service. Parents, please meet your children in the sanctuary within 10 minutes of the end of service. On Saturday, May 2nd, all are welcome to join Mystic Grove at 5:30 p.m. in Gore Hall for a celebration of the Celtic Holy Day Beltane with a maypole and potluck dinner. And join us here next Sunday for 1U Growing Curiosity as we explore how we've been learning to live our UU values over the past year throughout religious enrichment spaces, followed by our monthly town hall meeting in Gore Hall. Now please welcome Jeannie Carter to the pulpit for a special announcement about our support for New Image Youth Center.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Carter with the Friends of New Image Youth Center. New Image Youth Center is an organization that provides after-school and summer programs for children and youth in downtown Orlando, and we help them throughout the year in various ways. In May, we're asking for donations of non-perishable, individually wrapped snacks for the kids. The QR code will take you to an Amazon wish list for ideas, but you can buy the snacks anywhere. You can drop off snacks at the welcome table on Sunday mornings throughout May, or have them shipped directly to the center. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Jeannie. I look forward to every campaign that Jeannie announces because there's always a different hat or costume. It's fantastic. For more information about our congregation and announcements, go to orlandouu.org or email info@orlandouu.org. You can also find greater detail in the weekly update, emailed each Friday. If you would like to follow along with today's service, please use the QR code shown on the monitor to view the order of service. Thanks again for being here in person and online today. So many will recognize Ruby, one of our star chalice lighters, but have you met her parents, Sammy and Dan? Please welcome the family Rao.
Good morning, everyone. Do your little bit of good where you are. It's the little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world, said by Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Becoming a member of First Unitarian of Orlando and the Orlando community as a whole has really shown me the power that individuals have to use their strengths to reach a common goal. I am deeply inspired by the people I've met at 1U through the Green Team, other congregation members, and the 5051 community that meets weekly in Gore Hall. There are millions of ways to be involved and make a difference, especially with helping our earth. But to each of us, there is usually a limited number that is both accessible and interesting. And I found that the best results come from using your skills to determine where your energy will go. For our family, caring for the earth is a central criteria for every decision we make. From planning trips, to thrifting clothes and books, to buying new pots and pans, there are so many ways to include eco-friendly decisions into your everyday life. What we have found works for us is that we work together as a team by focusing on what makes our hearts happy. Dan is head of research and operations. I am head of resource allocation, and Ruby is head of advocacy and art departments.
And waking my mom up in the mornings.
Indeed. Yeah, Sammy really, and I will say that caring for the earth has always been a priority for me, but ever since we first met, she's really had this artist's eye for finding ways to make sure that everything we do, any decision we make, any project, any groceries, the little things to the big things, it's as little waste as possible, and really kind of, you know, she says research, but there's these opportunities to maybe fill in a couple of the gaps here and there as far as when we do need to get something new, when we are going to do something big, making sure that we do it still with that same ethos, that making sure that we're not creating more waste, that doing something more harmful. And Ruby really took to these values and she picked them up, and she is the type that will not let you forget them. She lives her values every single day.
So please join us in saying our opening words as Ruby lights the chalice. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, 175, We Celebrate the Web of Life.
dear ones, we arrive this morning as gardeners of the Spirit. We bring our questions like unplanted seeds and our weariness like dry earth. Let us create a space of sanctuary for the wild and the wonderful. In this quiet moment, we turn our attention toward the beauty crafted by the Spirit of life and by devoted hearts. Let us embrace possibility as we enter the mindful presence of worship. Please join me in this call and response reading. Your reply will be projected on the screen in all caps. Earth Day is not a celebration of what we have done, but a covenant of what we must do. We gather to renew our vow to the water, the soil, and the sky. In the silence between our heartbeats, we hear the earth's own song, sometimes a lament, sometimes a symphony. May we listen with humility and act with courage. We open ourselves now to the spirit of creation, that we might see our world with new eyes. Please welcome our official artist in residence and Green Team member, Leisha Matthias.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to serve as a voice for all of the creativity which flows through you. A special thanks to my partner and friends who stayed up so late creating places of authentic relating and conscious connection and still managed to wake up early today. The title of my original work is Dear Mother Earth. I bow before your sun, your silky whispers of wind threading through my lungs. How I love you, and wish to spend the rest of my life in this surrender, aching to remember everything you said, everything you did before I was an egg, before the stars knew of your womb, before the soil knew of my wounds, before you and I were cut in two, before our quest for pure, before our need for more, before we muddled your perfect balance in pointless wars. When your voice pierced the silence of your sky, clear as your pale horizon line, falling like a veil of feathers over my feet, these are the words I place before me. Dear Mother Earth, hear me. Remember your daughter dancing easily at the edge of your shores, inventing new scores of sonnets with her feet, yearning to fully feel the truth you see, that I am you and you are me. Born before 1,000 galaxies, coyote, condor, butterfly, bee, your stretches of story never cease to be in the Senate of ancestors who counsel me. I am you, and you are me. Just a breath of your erotic symphony flows wild like the Nile inside of me. Teeming chorus of rainforest, catching every sound of birth and death, of flight and ground, of drought and drench. I am you, and you are me. The same kinetic energy. One movement in your web changes everything. So I vow to live and breathe and tread ever so gently. As we move into greeting of one another, if you are joining us online for the first time, please say so in the comments. If you're joining us for the first time or even a third time in worship today, please stand if you are willing so we may offer a warm welcome. Now let's mingle and greet one another until we hear the jingle.
Video. I teach at the Montverde Academy, way out in Lake County, and I work with a woman who's a music teacher who teaches our youngest students there. And for their kindergarten graduation several years ago, they sang What a Wonderful World for their kindergarten graduation. It's really cute, a little hard to hear in here, but it's adorable. What they do with important words is they hold up signs that say the important words of the song. We talked about doing signs with us, but instead, we're gonna watch them sing and hold up the signs, and we're gonna sing with them, but we're gonna do signs of our own. We're gonna do some ASL. Anybody know what that is? What is it? American Sign Language, exactly right. Now, I don't speak ASL, but like any of us could, I went online, I went to YouTube, and I looked up the words we needed for today. So we're gonna look at the words and practice those quickly, okay? We good with that? Ja, das ist gut. Okay, so trees. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, and it's a double tap with your thumb, what a wonderful world. So you're making W's and the world goes round. And doesn't this just look like wonderful? Wonderful world. Okay, next slide, please. Good. So, skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, we remember that one, so we double tap. What a wonderful world. Ooh, I love it. Okay, now, colors of the rainbow. It looks like sky, doesn't it? So colorful sky. So pretty in the sky, and also on the faces of people going by, I see friends shaking hands. So you just grasp your hands like this and shake. Good. Saying, how do you do? They're really saying, now this is I love you, sort of in shorthand, but to go with the song, we're going to say, I love you. And that'll make sense. I hear babies cry. That makes sense too, right? I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than you'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Okay, great. Are you ready to do it with them? So we'll only do those certain words. We're going to see the screen split with them singing on one side and the words on the other so we can all follow along. Okay, hit it. There's half. There's the other half.
I see trees of green, red roses too.
Sing along. I see them bloom for me Congratulations, that's great. So now, if we can have the people on the inside stand and make a loving arch, and we will sing our children out with This Little Light of Mine, a cappella. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I think we need it again. Shine all over one you, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over one you, I'm gonna let it shine. Shine all over one you, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Thank you, Aubrey. That really worked so much better than I was afraid it might. Good job, right? Good morning. I'm Debbie Reinhardt, a member of the Board of Trustees. As we invite you into generosity, we are affirming that this time in our service is not simply an invitation for you to practice giving. It's a reminder that your giving is necessary for One You to exist and to thrive and continue to engage the good news of Unitarian Universalism. It affords us to be the change we wish to see in our world as we take action rather than waiting for others to do so. The sun gives its light to the flower gives its nectar to the bee brings life to the field. In this spirit of natural reciprocity, let us offer what we have, not out of obligation, but out of the joy of being a vital link in the chain of life. Today's full collection will go to the ministries of this congregation. Our Share the Plate recipient for the months of March and April is One Heart for Women and Children. Should you choose to make a direct donation to our partner, please let us know for recording purposes. Note that you can also give online or use your phone to scan the QR code found in the pew back pocket to donate through Zephy. And please also note you can change the service fee at checkout to $0. The offering will now be collected.
By inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All you need is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rains come tumbling down. Pulling weeds, picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. Need a place to call my own, for the time is near at hand. Grain
Thank you, Barbara. That was great. Let us joyfully receive what is offered here today in the spirit of gratitude and fellowship.
Have you noticed? Every year our area seems to be getting hotter, and the heat season seems to be getting longer. Last summer, the subject of heat kept coming up when the Green Team members went out to ask several organizations, including our nonprofit partners, 3 congregations, 2 activist groups, and an interfaith leader, about the environmental risks they were seeing in their organization and with the people that they were serving. And we heard stories. We heard about unhoused persons at the Christian Service Center who reported their shoes were melting on the scorching hot pavement, and that the fans set up on the covered patio there did not provide adequate relief from the hot air that they were feeling. We heard about one group that set out to do a door-to-door neighborhood survey about the challenges facing Hispanic residents. Their volunteers met an Orange County teacher who answered the door with water bottles taped over her torso. She had just finished a chemo treatment and could not afford to turn on her air conditioner. In Paramore, we talked with an activist who was assembling heat kits to be distributed to people in the neighborhood who were unhoused or were living in spaces that just didn't provide adequate cooling. This same activist was looking for spaces in the neighborhood that could be opened as cooling centers during the hottest part of the day during these heat spells that we're all experiencing. Well, as a result of this, we called our listening tour, we concluded that extreme heat is bringing hardship for vulnerable people in our community today. Now our challenge in our journey is to learn what is already being done, because there are some things being done, to address the extreme heat. And we're going to be seeing what are the gaps? Where do we need to fill in with more? And we know there are many possible futures, and that our justice work calls for us to keep working toward the brighter futures along side by side with our neighbors. May it be so.
This is the time we set aside for deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. Being in community means we do not walk alone. By sharing our joys and sorrows, we allow others to help carry the weight and celebrate what's great. During the week, you may send an email to joysandsorrows@orlandouu.org. On Sundays, you may fill out a card at the registration table and hand it to an usher before the start of service. Our intentions are fortified with a candle lighting ritual. Bring your joys, your sorrows, and your whole self to this circle, knowing that in this sacred space we create together, you are always welcome exactly as you are. The flowers this morning are a beautiful arrangement offered by Sandy Andriaccio in honor of Earth Day and the Green Team. Last week, we missed an important declaration of joy from Ann Mount. Sorry, Ann. Our family is happy to announce the arrival of Romare Benito Clasberry. He was born on April 8th. Welcome to the light, Romare. We love knowing you're here. And I am going to inject a card from our beloved Debbie here on the Green Team. I want to thank the wonderful volunteers who represented 1U so well at the Lake Eola Earth Day Festival. What a great group. Thank you, Debbie. From Emmy Collins, a joy and a sorrow. It is joyful that Tess has been part of our beloved community and that this fall she and her family are off to new adventures in the UK. But there is also sorrow because she is leaving this week to spend time with family and introduce baby Donovan to the world. If anyone missed the opportunity last week to write a note for her and Matt and baby Donovan, Please find me at social hour for cards and pens to remedy that. Thank you, Emmy. Tess will be deeply missed, and we wish the Yonkers a joyful new beginning. And the fellowship team gratefully reflects on the gathering of 30 beloved beings for last night's game night in Gore Hall. We know that hearts are healed and souls are comforted whenever we come together for fun, food, and fellowship. And another from Emmy Collins, a big thank you all. Last weekend, chest pain sent me on a hospital journey. It did not turn out to be my heart. This beloved community responded with loving concern and offers for help. Special thanks to my dear friend, Shayna Thomas, who captained a team of neighbors to care for my little dog, Penny. Oh. Thank you, Shayna. We hold our communities, our country, and our fragile world in a circle of protection as we pray for peace and an end to suffering. In times of upheaval, we commit to the steady, courageous work of justice, both in the quiet of our hearts and the strength of our actions. May we be a sanctuary for one another as we bend the long arc of the universe toward a more just and gentle future. Let us remember that the arc is long, and we are the sacred gardeners who sustain the journey. That was another gardening thing I plugged in there, just in case you didn't notice. So now we move into our candle lighting ritual. We light the first candle. Karina, thank you, as our candle lighter today. Focus your attention and intention on our candle lighting table as Karina lights the way. And once again, speak with me the words in all caps that appear on the screen for our Earth Day adaptation. We light the first candle for our shared joys, for the blossoms of the seasons, and the warmth that coaxes us toward growth. We give thanks for the light. We light the second candle for our shared sorrows, for the storms that weather us and the tears that soften the ground of our hearts. We honor the rain. We light the third candle for the unspoken and the mystery, for the seeds resting in the fertile dark and the prayers that have no words. We trust the soil. Sun, rain, and soil, joy, sorrow, and mystery. May these flames light our way as we turn now to the beauty of the world. Our meditation today is a stunning video excerpt from Jan Arthus Bertrand's film, Home. It offers a mindful meditation on how the earth cares for us. Consider breathing with it and allow it to guide you gently into Karina's reflection that follows.
Hello. On April 22nd, 1970, the very first Earth Day, more than 20 million Americans marched for change and political action to protect the environment. While their demands were not met in whole, they had a galvanizing effect on the national psyche. Americans began to comprehend that the Earth's health required attention, and it was connected to their own actions. Despite recent setbacks, thoughts of protecting the Earth and promoting conservation have become mainstream. However, I've often thought about how wonderful the world would be if Native American and Unitarian philosophies would have persevered more over time. Their deep spiritual connection to nature and the belief that we are not masters of nature, but integral, equal parts of a living, interconnected web of life. Imagine if the Industrial Revolution and the current development processes embraced this way of thinking. An excerpt from Robert Weston's poem is, "Out of the stars in their flight, out of the dust of eternity, it is from here that the earth comes from." I love that quote because it not only does the earth come from the vastness of space, but we humans also come from stardust and sunlight mingling through time. Ponder this idea that out of the stars we have come, that we are connected in an integral way with the universe. When experiencing nature or meditating, many people describe a feeling inside of themselves. This same feeling can be experienced when staring out into the ocean. I came to know that this special internal feeling while experiencing nature could actually be my connection to the universe. Humans are composed of 86% stardust. The very same atoms that form the stars are the same atoms that make up humans: oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, and iron. The rest of us contains water similar to the Earth. It's fascinating. NASA scientists state that the atoms forged inside ancient stars and then released into the universe via supernova explosions billions of years ago are the same scattered elements that later coalesced to form new stars, planets, human life, and wildlife, making us literal stardust. This is where the calcium in our bones comes from. This is where the iron in our blood comes from. Some feel that God, the God many seek, is really the energy of the universe living inside each and every one of us. We just need to learn how to connect to it and not be distracted. Many people describe that the more they connect their inner selves, the more positive and meaningful things happen in their lives. However, all of us are distracted or blocked at times in our lives, and it prevents us from feeling the deep interconnectedness to the universe and to other humans. When we get overwhelmed with work, family responsibilities, it makes it impossible to focus on spiritual internal feelings. We only use 10% of our brains. Could we have lost some of this vital connectedness to the earth and universe through evolution while focusing on the wrong things? Or being distracted to the point that we've lost that inner peace and it's harder and harder to get back to it? Where some religions now have parables, was there once inherent certainty and connectedness that we've lost over time? We know that connecting to the universe involves shifting perception from an isolated self to a state of heightened awareness, recognizing one's inherent connection to all existence. This connection is fostered through mindfulness, nature, trusting our internal intuitive guidance, Ross's meditation classes, our spiritual leader, Reverend Margulies' native plant garden walks. These are examples of ways to limit distractions, connect, and move forward to this heightened state of mind. My hope is that humans can get back to a point where the light and energy of the universe expands our spirituality to the point where we rediscover our connections to the universe, to each other, and peacefulness takes over power structures of the world. Unfortunately, our society is becoming further and further away from the spirituality of connectedness and nature and the universe as cities become more and more built with concrete and buildings and no planning for green spaces in between. Not only is wildlife losing their habitat, but humans are losing their connections to nature, and the resultant heat buildup is causing outdoor workers health problems and early death. In his book, Last Child in the Woods, Saving Our Children from Nature Deficit Disorder, Richard Louv writes about the human costs of alienation from nature. Since 2005, much more scientific evidence suggests that nature deficit disorder contributes to diminished use of the senses, attention difficulties, and higher rates of emotional and physical illnesses. Nonetheless, considering all of that, scientists believe that society's nature disorder can be reversed. Hope that we can conserve and reconnect with nature lies in the research and discoveries scientists continue to make regarding nature and our role in it, and getting closer to understanding our connections to the plants, the earth, and the universe. One interesting area of study is how plants and trees have more in common with us than we ever knew. We now know that they can have sentient qualities which fosters additional connections. Scientists have studied the question, is the universe alive? Do plants and trees have consciousness? Being conscious means being able to prioritize, make decisions, learn new things, adapt to new information, and choose your actions. In research on plants, where light was routinely moved around in a specific pattern, plants learned and grew toward where they expected the light to be next. We also know that in prolonged leaf-cutting experiments in a laboratory, plants learned what was coming and started to give off electrical impulses. Not only when the scientists started to cut on the first plant in the room, but eventually, even when the scientists just entered the room. With these electrical impulses, the scientists think the plant was sending warning signals, communicating to the other plants that an injury was coming. These scientists posed the statement, if plants can learn, remember, and communicate, then they might be conscious. Although this view is somewhat controversial, it's becoming increasingly clear that plants and trees exhibit a form of intelligence and thought processes as they craft responses to different situations. Plants and trees might be able to assess their circumstances, make decisions, and take action to rectify adverse situations or utilize potential benefits. Plant brains are located in their roots. The root apex is a sensory organ that functions like a human brain neuron. There can be billions of these within a single tree's root system. When associated with the mycorrhizal fungi is included, there's a vast neural network flowing through the soil. We now know that when trees have enough air, water, and nutrients, they will actually send excess nutrients through the soil to nearby trees using their mycorrhizal root system. However, they will selectively send nutrients to their offspring first before then sending excess nutrients to other tree species. Plants and trees use many of the same neurotransmitters as humans, including dopamine, glutamate, and serotonin. All of this information gives me hope that through a better understanding of the consciousness of plants, we can better understand our connections to nature, how to expand upon it, and thus bring our spirituality and connectedness to nature and the universe and to other humans to new heights. Other interesting connections to nature are, our fingerprints look like tree rings. A nebula looks like a human eye. The galaxy looks like a human brain synapses. And some flower blooms look like the female of the insect species that pollinates it. Think about that. How does a plant mimic an insect? It happens. We have photos of that. It's anything with nature, it's always the more you know, the more you don't know, and the more exciting it is to learn about potential connections. I overheard Max Beck repeat Pierre de Chardin's quote, "We are not humans being spiritual, we are spiritual beings having a human experience." I think that quote really expresses well the philosophy that we are all part of the interconnected web of life. With nature disorder taking a firm grasp in our world, with climate change causing birds and insects to go extinct, with climate change causing humans to be displaced and the declining health of our outdoor workers due to more intense heat, it does not bode well for the future of conservation of nature. And what does all of this mean to our connection to the universe? How do we repair and preserve our connections to the earth and the universe with disappearing resources? One thing is clear, the industrialization of cities as we know it is not sustainable. We know we cannot keep using materials and processes the way we do now and also survive into the future. One notion for hope is the science of biomimicry, innovations inspired by nature, borrowing nature's design principles to create more sustainable products and processes. Nature has evolved systems over billions of years that work in harmony with each other and have evolved self-regulating efficiencies. Biological knowledge has been doubling every 5 years, and we can now learn from nature's cyclic and holistic design processes and create a more sustainable and conservation-oriented approach to living on Earth. An example of biomimicry is figuring out ways to lessen carbon emissions. Some companies are using an enzyme that manages carbon dioxide during mammal respiration to create a flue scrubber that takes carbon dioxide out of smokestack emissions and turns it into powdered limestone for other uses, taking that CO2 out of the air. Other examples are that the aerodynamics of the Japanese bullet train was inspired by the shape of a kingfisher's beak. Also, a Zimbabwean architect has designed a passive cooling building inspired by termite mounds. In Arizona, architects are designing building exteriors with pleats mimicking the morphology of a self-shading cacti for cooling techniques. The bumps on a humpback whale flippers called tuberces help distribute pressure in the animal. This feature has been mimicked to create more stable airplane and submarine designs with greater agility and also wind turbine blades to capture more wind. A company in Denmark is studying water filtration built based on pores in red blood cells. By studying nature and pursuing biomimicry design, we can learn to balance life on Earth better. We can try to reduce the effects of climate change. And the importance of biomimicry is that we are learning to see that nature not as a resource, but as a sentient master for humans. This gives me hope that we are following the ways of the Native Americans and moving in the right direction. Deep inside, we are all still have a longing to be reconnected with nature that shaped our imagination, our language, and our sense of the divine universe. Our circadian rhythm does not stop. Some positive indicators that hope in nature and our connection to it will persist are the Bolivia's constitutional amendment that creates earth jurisprudence, which means it's the idea that nature has rights in a court of law. This has spread throughout the world, including to some US cities. Despite the Trump regime's dismantling of our national parks and selling off our conservation areas, the National Resources Defense Council is fighting back in the court system. More good news is that scientific papers are showing that small personal gardens are an essential tool to fight the effects of climate change. We all can make a difference. The Homegrown National Park Organization is showing how individuals planting native plants in their backyards is regenerating biodiversity and providing birds and pollinators with food and nesting sites across the United States. and select city leaders around our country are rewilding parts of their cities. This is all good news. It's all hope that we have a bright future with protecting the earth. For us here today, let's continue the energy those millions of people had when they marched on that very first Earth Day. Choose some time each week to concentrate on cultivating that special feeling of connectedness inside, whether it's communing with nature, planting a native plant, tending to the 1U garden, forest bathing, or simply meditating in a quiet room without distractions. Let's see where that leads us as individuals, and let's see where that leads us to becoming spiritually whole as a connected congregation. As cerebral beings, we have hope, and we have the whole world in our hands. Please rise in body or spirit and joining in singing our closing song, the Earth Day adaptation of We've Got the Whole World in Our Hands. The lyrics will appear on the screen.
We leave this garden sanctuary now, but we do not leave the work. May we take the seeds of today's intentions and plant them in the fertile soil of our daily lives. May we be resilient as the root, patient as the seed, and bold as the first blossom of spring. As we go, may the sun warm our path, the rain refresh our spirit, and the earth rise up to support our every step toward justice. Our worship has ended, our tending continues. May we walk in beauty and in peace. In reality, every day is Earth Day. Small actions taken consistently create real change. Try to identify one thing you can do regularly to help. Learn more about recycling correctly, using pesticides responsibly. Explain climate change to a neighbor. If you don't have ideas, ask a Green Team member. We'll be wearing green today at our social hour in the garden. In particular, be sure to ask Charlie Behrens, who will be standing in front of his electric vehicle, about the critical role food plays in climate change. So, come join us in our sacred community garden to be nourished and refreshed in fellowship, to be delighted by all that has taken root and blossomed here, and to learn more about the electric vehicles that will carry us cleanly into the future. Please say these words with me as we extinguish this flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry into the world until we are together again.